stronger with a busy offseason to this point. Most recently, Jason Heyward. Why does this contract work so well for the Cubs?
Well, if you look at their whole payroll structure, they're in this little 3-year sweet spot where the lineup that's loaded with young hitters, is a really very cheap lineup. These guys, it's going to be a while until Kris Bryant, Addison Russell, Kyle Schwarber really start making money. That allows them to go out and be flexible in this window. And yes, you might not want to give Jason Heyward the contract given the fact that he's never been, a run producer you'd want to build your team around. But when you can have him as a complementary player and rely on his ability in the field to make all your pitchers better, ability to get on base, maybe that makes Kris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, 130 RBI guy. So it's a nice fit. He's going to be the most highly paid complimentary player in baseball. But Theo Epstein had that Cubs roster in position where he could afford to do that.
So they get Zobrist, they get Heyward. Does that mean that perhaps they'll trade guys like Baez and Soler, perhaps for more pitching?
Well, they are still trying to improve, and they're still trying to add an impact young arm, possibly an impact reliever. But if they do that at this point, they have to bring in an outfielder. They have talked to the Rays about Kevin Kiermaier. They could make a monster trade. The Rays have starting pitching. They have relief pitching. Their talks with Arizona after the Shelby Miller trade, there was some interest in Ender Inciardi. I think they would have to get a Julio Teheran back, and maybe they'd have to give up both of those guys in the same trade. I'm skeptical. I think Theo Epstein doesn't really want to move these young hitters. I think he wants to give them the 2016 season to find out a little bit more and make sure he's not trading away a perennial all-star in one of those guys. So they have options, they have balls in the air, but they also have the team set up where they could basically go to spring training with this roster.
Phil Rogers in Chicago, thank you so much. Let's take a look here at what the Chicago Cubs have done to this point thus far. The additions on the left, subtractions on the right. The thing is, though, Tom, should we make sure that we save some space on the left side? Are they done making moves?
They are not done. Listen, right now as they stand, their outfield is Kyle Schwarber, below average defender in left. Jorge Soler, below average defender in right. Jason Heyward, tremendous right fielder, 32 games in his career in center field. So I think he's going to be good in center field. Probably. They need a center fielder in my book. So I like the idea of either Kiermaier or Ender Inciarte. And they match up very well with those two teams, with the Braves and the Rays. So I do think Soler and Baez are chips to move, and others in their system. Those are the stars we know about. Their lower minor league system has a lot of prospects that teams really like. I don't think they're finished by no means, and I think their move is a legit defender in center field. That team knows analytics too well to start the season with an outfield like that.
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit more about Jason Heyward too, because look, we're in today's world where money's going to get thrown at people, right? And I like what Phil Rogers said. He is a complimentary player. He didn't go to a club where the big knock on him is he doesn't hit home runs, he's not a run producer, right? Well, guess what? The middle of that order already has home run hitters and run producers. So if you put him at the top or you put him in the 6 or 7 spot, let the man play. If you're going to look at this move and say, is he going to live up to that contract? Probably not. But is he going to be a nice piece for the Chicago Cubs? Are they better with him? The answer is yes. I like that move.
And they were rewarded with their scouting, what they did, how they acquired Addison Russell, how their young guys panned out. So you look at Bryant, Schwarber, Soler, Russell, they're underpaid. So you can kind of offset that with maybe paying Jason Heyward a little more. And guess what? That's a dagger to the Cardinals too. It's like, their rival loses one, we get one. It's kind of like a switch of 2 players. So for the Cubs, I go back to, I think the Lackey deal is a great deal for them. Years aren't too much.
They hit the Cardinals again.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a 2-year deal. It's not like you're paying someone that's a little older 4 years at crazy money. It's a 2-year deal. He has a relationship with Theo. They know what you're going to get. And Lackey's a guy who's coming off arguably maybe his best year of his career. So the Cubs, there's a lot to be excited about going into next year.
And that's the other interesting thing, too, because Lackey, free agent, Zobrist, Heyward, John Lester last year, free agents as well. Chicago's becoming a destination that a free agent wants to go to. That's important, isn't it?
Very important. I think some of that has to do with the manager, too, Joe Madden.
Absolutely.
When they signed him, I said that was the biggest signing of any free agent in the offseason. And it's turning out that way, not just the way he runs a game, the clubhouse, and all those things. He's a great recruiter. Who doesn't want to play for Joe Madden, right? So I think they've done really well attracting free agents there, besides money. Money, let's face it,
right.
It helps to have the money.
But I say that because other guys, Heyward, for example, we hear $200 million. Maybe the AAV was a little bit different, but guys are turning down money now, at least some, to go to Chicago.
And maybe the 200 really wasn't real. That's possible right there. Who knows it was. But if you're looking at 184 and 200, pick your place that you want to be happy. And I think you made a good point, Tom. Joe Madden's the type of guy it seems that people line up to go play for. He's not afraid to move guys around. He seems to make every player he has very comfortable. And when you're comfortable, you play better.
And you know the attraction of the last great championship in sports is what? A Chicago Cubs World Series? As a player, Mike, would that be attractive to you, that selling point?
I think it has to be. I think it has to be. You're immortalized almost in a city that's been starving for a championship. You know, and to your point, the Zobrist kind of recruitment, if he didn't like the way he was used in Tampa, there's no way he signs with the Cubs. So that relationship is big, and I'm with you. I think there are a lot of pieces to getting a complete team. A manager is one of them. Players are one of them. The city's another one. So I don't know. It's a lot of good things. It's an exciting division.
And you know Boston very well. So does Theo Epstein. And you get the sense that this has a little bit of that late 90s, early 2000s, Red Sox, Yankees, now Cubs, Cardinals sort of thing, which I think you alluded to in your column a few days back.
Yeah, it's been a great rivalry, but not really on the field. I think they finished first and second like 4 times in the last 100 years. Not exactly Yankees, Red Sox, but it is now. Game on in that division.
We're getting there for sure. Great stuff. We got to take a break here on MLB Tonight, but when we come back, we'll recap our top stories of the day. Johnny Cueto with the Giants and Pete Rose, the Lifetime ban not lifted. We are back after this.